Welcome to the Bomb Shelter. I, unfortunately, am the host for this episode. I'm just going to say Kevin Schumm, because that's my name.
And I'm Jay McDowell, because that's my name.
Yep. Because we don't want to insert any of this movie into our names.
Yes, this is our makeup. In case in case we forgot,
yes,
because we're apparently the only people that listen to this show. We missed last month's show due to, of all things, an actual being snowed in.
Yeah, I actually was snowed in.
Yes, Kevin could not make it down. We normally record November show just after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
When we have a long weekend, and it snowed like crazy around here.
Lots.
And
like
lots and lots where
feet.
Kevin lived. Yeah.
Several feet.
So now we're paying the price for it.
Yeah, to pay the price for that, what we decided, we thought, hey, let's do a Christmas-themed movie, which originally was going to be like
Chopping Mall.
Or just something fun. And
someone can remember their Prime password, though. Yeah. Thanks, Kevin.
That'd be me also.
This is all your fault.
So instead, well, what kind of movies can you find for free?
And what kind of movies come out around Christmas? What kind of bad movies that come around Christmas?
That would be like the typical Hallmark Christmas type movie.
Oh, boy.
Yep. So, yeah, there was a bunch to choose from. Most of them had pretty much the same plot from the description. Something,
Well, we had a bit of a prerequisite for picking the movie out. And it had to have a love interest that the two people couldn't stand each other at first.
Yeah.
It had to involve a company takeover of some sort. And, of course, it had to be around Christmas.
Yeah.
And we chose
a little movie that is called, well, there's two names for it, kind of. It's called Married by Christmas. And it's also known as The Engagement Clause.
Yeah, so don't get fooled into thinking there's two different movies.
No, because they're the same one.
One horrible movie.
Yes.
For Gary Tate, the family business means everything.
So we're prepared to make an offer today.
That's a ridiculous offer.
Emerson Foods is a family company.
Very big family company.
So when her sister has some joyous news.
We're engaged!
Oh, my Katie.
Oh, congratulations.
Gary, I would like to introduce you to my best friend and my best man.
We've met.
You're kidding?
Nope.
Carrie's about to get humbugged.
My mother, she had it in her will that whichever one of you marries first, the company would immediately go to that daughter's husband.
Legally, Ethan will own Emerson Foods.
Now,
technically, I could still get married first. Zelda, I have a plan.
Carrie's about to learn that love and happiness always find a way.
And the fact that you two love each other so completely, that's amazing. Makes me happy to think that it exists. And maybe one day, if I'm lucky enough, a little bit of that will rub off on me.
Mar Vista Entertainment presents Jess McCallan, Kobe Ryan McLaughlin, April Bowlby, James Eckhouse, and Lee Garlington in a romantic holiday comedy about finding that love is more important than any family business.
Merry Christmas.
Married by Christmas.
So this movie has one person in it that I've ever heard of before in my life.
One person that we actually recognize by name and sight. Everybody else?
Yep.
No.
So yeah, the one person we both recognized is James Eckhouse, who you may remember from the original 90210 series on TV.
Yeah, he was Brendan and Brendan's dad.
Yeah, their dad.
Yeah.
So pretty recognizable. I didn't recognize him at first, but then it kind of came to me.
Yeah, I recognized the name, and then when Kevin saw me, he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember him."
He really stretches for his role in this movie. He plays a dad.
Pretty much. This is pretty much after Jim and Cindy Walsh divorced.
Yeah,
he got remarried.
Had apparently two kids that have nothing to do with each other.
That are genetically at all.
Yeah. So actually, we should probably go through the plot on this because nobody's going to know well, I mean, it's a pretty simple plot, but no one knows this movie. It's not like we're talking about like Gremlins or something.
Miracle
like
on 34th Street or something.
All
right. Well, you're hosting.
All right.
Have fun.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, so let me read the plot. Is there? Oh, yeah, here we go.
Somebody actually wrote out the plot. Oh.
It's really short, though.
Well,
watch this.
There you go.
A high-level executive must find herself a husband before Christmas in order to inherit a fortune.
That's really
That's very simplified.
really simplified version of
Yeah,
it.
this movie is so much more complex than that.
Not much.
No,
maybe
a
two
little bit more
sentences.
complex. Yeah, it needs 2 sentences. So what you need to add to that is that there's 2 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is sort of like the go-getter, kind of already is helping with the company, really
she already works
business-minded.
there, yeah.
And
It's
she's
a
the
family business.
family business,
family
yeah.
company.
And the other sister is sort of, nothing necessarily wrong with her, but she's just doesn't seem to be interested in running the business or being involved.
She's a successful restaurateur in Napa.
Yes.
Of
So
course.
she comes back for Christmas with a boyfriend, and they have some secret announcement they're going to make.
That nobody could figure
And
out.
I was just biting my nails thinking like, I wonder what
could it be?
what's going to be. Well, it turns out that they're engaged to get married.
Oh, yeah.
And then-
when are they going to get married, Kevin?
Christmas
Christmas
Eve. Yes, Christmas Eve.
Yes, because we have to usurp a holiday to make it all about me.
Yeah. So, but here's the little trick. Is it the grandpa?
The
Grandmother put some stipulation in who gets to run the company or who gets to inherit the company, and that whichever one of the 2 daughters gets married first inherits the company.
Well, their husband inherits the company.
husband inherits the company.
Yeah.
Which that seems like a really ridiculous thing, but
Yeah, because it didn't make sense. It was what didn't make sense to me, and we'll get more into the plethora of things
when
that
we
make
deep
sense.
dive into this movie.
Yes, deep diving into a wading pool. Why didn't Mr. Walsh inherit it?
Yeah, I don't understand that. Why did you skip him?
Yeah, why did Grandma skip her daughter
Yeah.
and go to the granddaughters?
Yeah. I think
Maybe maybe we need a Married by Christmas 2 where it
Prequel.
goes into a prequel
Yeah.
of why the strained relationship
Yeah.
between Elizabeth Bitsy Tate and her mother.
yes.
Yes, that would be
I think the
interesting.
mom just was not happy with her choice of a husband in James Eckhouse.
Yeah, she wants someone more
She's like,
hair.
I want nothing to do with him.
Yeah.
I'm skipping you. It's going to one of your daughters.
Yeah. Ha, I'll show you.
I'll show you, Mark Tate.
You Bitsy.
Bitsy. Okay, so so that's basically the plot, and kind of what happens is it's sort of let me name some of the characters. So the 2 daughters are, the last name is Tate.
Yeah.
So you've got Carrie and Katie Tate.
And Katie is the one getting married.
Katie's younger, I believe, and
Yeah.
getting married. Carrie's older and is the one who's sort of like kind of running the business already.
Well, and she drives the plot too.
Yeah.
Such as it is.
So, and then the mother and father are Mark and Elizabeth, and then we'll get into some of the other characters.
There's a few extraneous characters. The one other one though that really is one of the main characters.
Yeah.
And for some reason on IMDb he's listed way down at the bottom.
Even though he's probably in the movie more than probably the top 3 people in the movie.
Well, he's turns into the primary love interest, so it
Yes.
didn't make sense. But Dylan Courtney is the name of the character.
The character, yeah. So yeah, what happens is the older sister, she's thinking like, well, I deserve to run the company. I've done all the hard work. This is what I love to do already. Why should I go to my sister's husband just because she happens to get married first?
Yeah.
And so it kind of turns into this, well, how can I possibly get married first?
Yeah. Well, what can I do to get the company?
Yeah.
Because she couldn't figure. There was no legal way. The will was pretty airtight.
Yeah.
So yeah, then she's got to figure out how to get married first.
How to get married first. So she kind of comes up. She has this assistant at, she's the high-powered executive. She has this assistant named Zelda, who's
colorful and crazy and probably has a lot of cats.
Yeah. So you know exactly what she looks like and how she acts.
Pretty much.
She kind of talks to her about it and says like, well, maybe I can find, some guy to marry, and then after the appropriate amount of time,
Divorce him. Yeah.
Yeah. Which again turns into a whole nother thing, because if the company goes to the husband, divorcing him won't really help her, because it would be his company, not hers. So she just,
and she would at most only get half of it, even if
maybe,
she could.
Yeah. So that seems like a stupid plan. But,
Yeah. A little fatal flaw in that plan.
But then she says, okay, well, let's actually go for this. Let me, is there anyone in my past that I could possibly
call out of the blue
and say, hey, you want to get back together, and hey, let's get married.
Yeah, within like 3 days.
Yeah. So she has this guy, I believe she dated in high school.
No, she just knew him. They were friends.
Okay. They were just friends.
They were close, she said.
Close.
But and she said she thought he might have been the one.
Okay.
But yeah.
You pay way more attention to this movie than I did.
Well, there were times when I was. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Don't judge me.
You're better at this than me.
Don't judge me.
His name's Paul Taylor. Her friend from when she was younger.
Yeah.
So they meet up, and he seems like a nice guy. They seem to kind of hit it off.
I don't know. There wasn't any chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, but they at least they get along. There's no
they get along.
No tension. You know, they still enjoy each other's company, I guess.
Yeah, but there was a reason. But there's no chemistry.
There's a reason there's no chemistry, which you find out later. Which
apparently everybody else in the movie
Jay
knew.
and I and every other person in the movie realize that
except for Carrie.
the character Paul Taylor is actually gay. So the whole "let's get married quickly" thing is just not going to work for him.
Yeah, because Carrie, in desperation, sets up a plane to go to Vegas.
Yeah, for a quick wedding.
Yeah, he gets a penthouse at the Bellagio and is like, marry me. And he goes, no. She goes, well, why not? Come on, we'll just get married. Come on. He's like, well, I'm gay.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
Which, I mean, leading up to that, for the 20 minutes before that, we were both saying, like, he's got to be gay, right?
Gay.
That's what's going to happen. That's why they're not going to get together.
And there were subtle little things that kind of showed it, like when they were on the couch watching the Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, oh, I love this movie, and blah, blah, blah. And, she's like, well, it's kind of cold. And he tosses her blanket.
Yeah.
And she curls up.
I like snuggling.
I love snuggling. And he's like, okay. And is watching the movie. And, and there were subtle little signs.
Yeah.
That this wasn't going to work.
Yeah. And I actually felt bad for him they were at this little dinner where this all happened, where she finds out and, all that. And then she kind of just like has no use for him anymore.
Yeah. Well, she did make an off-color.
Yeah, she did.
Not like a slur or anything, but he made some kind of a sports reference, which I don't know anything about sports, so kind of went over my head. But anyway, she said something about, oh yeah, the gay guy making sports reference, and he was like, well,
I gotta go.
See ya.
Yep. So you kind of feel bad for him, although at the end he comes back and they patch it up. They patch it up a little bit, which was nice. So in the meantime, this is like a little subplot. There's this other company called, do you happen to remember it?
I don't know. It was some winery in Napa.
And they want to buy out this winery, who I guess is having some trouble.
Yeah, they're kind of floundering, and Emerson Foods wants to buy it. And Carrie's plan is to streamline, a.k.a. lay people off.
Lay people off and hire robots or something.
Yeah, robot grape pickers. And that's where we're introduced to Dylan.
He's like the handsome... like as soon as you see him, you realize like, okay, that's the guy.
You're like, okay, yeah. Constant 5 o'clock stubble, no matter what time of day it is, and
always wearing perfect hair, perfect clothing,
perfectly. Well, he has the mussed up hair, but it's mussed perfectly.
It's the perfect mess.
Yeah.
And one thing we started noticing in the movie is that everyone's. I mean, obviously this is a movie, but you should, like, in a movie you're supposed to portray something close to real life, and you'd think like I'm wearing jeans right now, and they're a little bit faded, and I'm wearing a sweatshirt.
In that jacket, okay.
Yeah.
I've seen you in that jacket.
Yeah.
For the years that I've known you,
I've
seen you wear that a lot.
That's because I never throw anything away, and
never
buy clothes. Yeah. But like the zipper's missing, and it's the little string's a little bit frayed.
But it's comfy.
Yeah, it's comfy. But in this movie, every article of clothing that every single person wears looks like they bought it off the shelf that day.
You never see any clothes that are worn more than once.
Yeah.
And it's like we started making a joke every time Dylan would show up. He's like, "Hey, you like this new jacket? I just stopped and got
on the way to visit you right now." Yeah. And then when he leaves, like, "Hey, I got to stop by the store and buy some more clothes. So I'll see you later." But movies like this, like we've learned over the years and years and years of this, you have to kind of make your own fun.
Yeah, or you just start going crazy.
So yeah, they kind of
well, Dylan is in some capacity representing the winery.
Yeah.
And he and Carrie don't get off to a good start.
Yeah.
I sound like I know way too much about this. I know their stupid names.
I know.
I paid a little bit of attention, apparently. Anyway, she kind of insults him with the offer to the winery.
Yeah.
and
way too low or something.
Yeah.
You never really see what it is or anything.
and then gives him the cold shoulder and stuff. And then it turns out that he is the best man for
her sister's
fiance. Yeah. And so of course they have
he's still completely involved in the movie at all times.
Yeah, and that was what gave us our first clue that Paul would probably be gay, because it would have made her look like an even worse person to string him along and then go with the obvious guy. So there had to be an exit. Yeah,
an easy out for Paul. Him. So yeah, and speaking of bad person, the main character in this movie, which would be Carrie Tate, the executive woman.
Yeah,
she is just not a very pleasant, nice person.
No, she wasn't. It was like it's
hard
no
to like
her.
her. It's hard to feel bad for her. Actually,
is it any wonder you're not married?
Yeah, it's like who would want to marry you? And I kind of hope your sister's future husband gets the company, because I don't want you to have anything
and
good.
then boots you out.
Yeah, but so kind of exactly what you would expect happens.
Yeah, there's hijinks ensuing. You know, she tries to get married. Paul is obviously
that was
not
probably
interested.
the biggest surprise of the movie, right? Or was there anything else that was like a?
That was not a surprise whatsoever.
Well, it wasn't a surprise, but it was like
the thing that surprised me was, spoiler alert, that the end didn't wind up being a double wedding.
Oh, that's true.
With them going, hey, I've got a perfect idea.
Yeah.
So that I don't own, my husband doesn't own the company, and you're out.
Yeah.
Why don't we get married
together?
I
do at the exact same time.
Yeah, at the exact same time. So then we get 50% each. Yeah.
See, we could write these movies.
I know. It's
a better movie. Better than Allison Spuck McNeely and Cassie, however you say that.
Tabano. I hate them both. It doesn't matter how you can pronounce their names.
It took two people to write this movie.
It took two people to go through the Hallmark Mad Lib.
Yeah.
And make this
fill
movie.
In the names and the adjectives and nouns.
So, so then basically Carrie's just like, I've been a schmuck, apologized to her sister. They go through at the wedding, and she resigns and actually ends up taking a position at the winery. So it's like, yeah. So everybody kind of...
Yeah, so you got two companies, two couples.
Well, because she decides she wants to have her own adventure now.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
What I want is there to be... Well, we've already got a prequel.
Yes.
I want there to be a sequel where the trick is that Dylan actually doesn't like Carrie. He's just marrying her to, like, fix the deal that they're trying to buy, like, fix his company. Mm-hmm. And then he'll just like boot her
dump her. Yeah, turn it around on her.
Yeah, so that's my sequel.
Well, I kind of thought a couple times that maybe once he figured out the will, that maybe he was trying to horn in and marry her first, which would have made for a little bit more interesting.
Yeah,
but
we're getting into this now.
Yeah, as it stands, no, not so much.
Okay.
The only thing that would have really made it interesting, guns.
Guns. Yeah, well, there were many parts where we thought, I hope that's a gun.
Yeah.
I hope she's about to pull a gun out of her purse.
Please tell me that's a gun behind her back, and we were woefully disappointed.
Or even enveloped with anthrax was one of our hopes.
She did give her sister her resignation letter. We were really hoping the big poof of anthrax would come flying out of it.
Yep.
Like, what is this? It burns.
So, So, in spite of this... Because in the past couple years, this will be our third Christmas. Yeah.
First year we did
Christmas
filming locations: Wild Wine Barn Restaurant in La Brea in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Huh. I did notice a lot of palm trees. We need to do that sometime. Just go there.
Yeah.
Go to Hallmark Movie.
Do a podcast from the location.
We're at the Wild Wine Bar,
which you might recognize.
Such movies as Un Maria Avant Noel.
Also known as,
Un Marita per Natal. These are all the different names
in different countries. So actually other people from other countries had to suffer through this movie as well.
Yes, this is what we do to other countries.
Yeah.
At any rate,
export.
The first year we did Santa Claus, the Mexican Santa Claus.
Yep.
And that was a treat.
Yep.
And then last year we did Black Christmas, which was really weird.
Yeah.
And
it's still kind of scary.
And for some reason, we did this, and we thought, maybe next year we'll just pick another one.
I think, this is an annual event now.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like, women in childbirth.
Yeah.
You know, they say that some people will say, well, childbirth, men go through nothing as bad as
Now we
childbirth, and it's like, well, you've never been kicked in the groin.
Yeah.
And the way it goes is, a woman after a year or two, she might go, oh, you know what? It was painful, but I'd like to have another baby.
Yeah.
No man has ever said, kick me in the groin again.
Yeah, let's try that one more time.
Yeah, please. So, yeah, apparently we are gluttons for punishment.
Yes. But yeah, I think this should be an annual event. I look forward to next year possibly having a movie with Dean Cain in it.
Those are easy to find.
Dean Cain or a puppy, or Dean Cain and a puppy.
There was one with a puppy. There were two with puppies.
Yeah.
We might actually have to invest in the Hallmark Channel in December.
Yeah.
Just get a
Just for
subscription
1
for a month. Of course, we could just not watch movies. They're all the same. We could just,
That's true.
just
make
pretend
it up.
that we do.
Yeah, we watched this movie called, and then we'll just make up a name.
Yeah.
And
That's what we can play. We can start a new game, Hallmark movie or made up.
Yeah.
And just give plots and see if people can guess it. If we can guess it when we listen to it again, because nobody listens.
Yes. Now there's not much trivia to this, and I'm getting worried at this point that this is going to be our shortest podcast of all time. Why don't we take a break just to regroup?
See if we can find something.
Think if we could think of anything else to talk about, because I'm almost done. And then we'll come back with something so exciting.
Terribly exciting.
Terribly exciting. So we will be right back.
Yeah.
Back. And after about 20 minutes of a quote-unquote break deliberation, we decided we got nothing.
We looked all over.
We looked and looked
for anything good, bad, or ugly about this stupid movie.
No
and there's
trivia.
Nothing out there.
Yeah.
So we conducted a scientific experiment.
Yes.
Using the Hallmark Channel and watching their previews.
Yes.
We watched 3 previews.
Yes.
All of which could have been the same movie for all I know.
Yep. I couldn't even tell you what any of them were anymore. They've already faded.
I've come to the conclusion that they're all just one movie, just with different names.
Yeah.
Except for the one with the Jewish lady who apparently never knew what Christmas was.
Never heard of it before.
Yeah, she's 40 and has never seen. Yeah. She was trying to make dinosaur cookies.
Yeah.
Yeah. That part I remembered.
Yeah. But I definitely think this needs to become a yearly tradition.
A yearly flogging of ourselves.
Yes. A way to punish ourselves right at the end of the year.
Yeah. So then Santa knows we've been good. I know even Jack's working something up here.
Even Jack the dog.
Yeah. Jack the dog just gave his opinion.
Review.
One. Yeah. These, I don't know. I know people who just totally groove on these movies.
Yeah.
And I've tried. This is the most I've watched of one.
Yeah.
And I could feel my brain sloughing off against my skull. Yeah. As I was watching it. I mean, my eye was seriously just,
This has to be I'm a really big fan of music. I have things I really like in music, things I really don't like in music. But then there's some things I don't necessarily have an opinion on. Just some it can get annoying, but sometimes there's just some background music somewhere and I just I don't notice it. It's just kind of
noise, yeah.
And I almost feel like these kinds of movies, at least this is my opinion, they're just kind of background noise. They're just you turn them on during December, you can walk in and out and you don't really miss much because if
they're all the same.
If this one girl likes this one guy and you come back an hour and a half later, there's still going to be this one girl that's a different girl that likes this other guy.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, and it's just their thing, they really do enjoy it because it's part of Christmas.
Yeah.
It's some people watch Miracle on 34th Street. Some people watch
that's true.
It's a Wonderful Life. Some people watch Die Hard.
Yeah.
I mean, my go-to movie at Christmas time is Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
My absolute favorite Christmas movie. And I think it's just people can gorge on this.
Yeah.
It's a more acceptable time to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, we've watched some bad movies.
Yeah.
We sat through Birdemic. We paid to see Birdemic once.
In theater, yeah.
In a theater. We know horrible, awful, bad things. And this, I don't know how.
And they just keep cranking them out. Like on the Hallmark Channel website, it was like this month there's a whole bunch of movies premiering. Like, not just like, hey, this is our movie this year. It's like...
And we clicked on one movie that took us off the page and then took us back, and I swear there was a dozen more movies.
Yeah, it's like while we've been recording this podcast, they made several more.
They released
movies,
10 more movies. Yeah, this is definitely an acquired taste.
Yeah, and I have not acquired it.
It is not one I will acquire, but I will do this again next year.
But I will do this again this year. But no, one requirement again to repeat. I think I said this on air. I need a puppy. Or Dean Cain, or both next year.
Well, we know the movie will be about a professional woman.
Yes.
You know, a high professional banker or lawyer or something like that, who inherits her aunt's cookie factory.
Yeah.
In the small town she grew up in that she fought to get away from.
Yeah.
And she's got to go back to sell the factory,
yeah.
dismantle it, doesn't want it. And she'll run into the guy who's, of course, going to be dressed in plaid, who she couldn't stand in high school.
Yeah.
But he is the foreman at the cookie factory.
Yep.
And she will start to grow fond of him.
Yes.
And by the end of the movie, she'll be wearing plaid. She'll have given up her penthouse in Manhattan and live back in Snowflake Village.
Yeah, exactly.
Making cookies.
That's
what you do.
Yeah, that's the plot of 1,000 movies right there.
1,000 Hallmark movies. It's like printing money for them.
I gotta say though, it's not a good movie, but it was a fun movie to make fun of while you're watching it.
It was
because it's
there was
competent.
Plenty too.
It's competent but bad.
Yeah,
which is kind of funny.
Yeah. I mean, there was plenty of fodder.
I mean, they had enough movie. This isn't Manos, the Hands of Fate, where they didn't have a budget.
No,
they have plenty of money. They have people who act for a living, or at least part-time.
Allegedly.
Yeah. So there's people that are doing what they do. It's just at a very low level. Yeah.
And it was short enough to not be too painful, because we were looking at the times on some of them. This was a TV movie, so it was, gutted for not having commercials and stuff. But there were some that were like 2+ hours.
I'm like,
it was
there's no way I'm doing that.
Cannot do that.
Hour and a half. I was like, I hope there's one that's like more like an hour and 20. but this was like hour 27 or 28.
Well, we paused it a few times, and it looked like the time was not moving.
Yeah. Well,
like 3 times, I'm like, why is there still time on
There
this?
is Hallmark time, because like we said, they've filmed several movies since we started this podcast.
Yeah.
So they're like in a different like realm or something.
Yeah, it's like a little pocket universe where just time moves differently for them. Yeah, probably. This is awful.
Well, I'd like to say that this is pretty much, I'm almost positive, except for maybe that when we were driving the car, Star Wars thing, this is going to be our shortest podcast
probably ever. I mean, we literally considered coming back and well, thanks for listening, because we couldn't find squat.
Yep. Kevin killed himself during the break. And
Kevin jumped out of the window. It's only one-story house. But
somehow he still died.
Okay.
All right. Well, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We're kind of saying this to ourselves.
Because we're the only ones who listen to this.
But if you do happen to listen to this, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Yep. And we will see you next year. Well, we won't see you, but we'll talk to you.
Well, you know how that works.
And we already kind of know what we do the first month of each year.
Yeah.
So, but we don't know exactly specifically yet.
Yeah, we got to find it. So.
Yeah. But we'll see you soon.
All right. Have fun. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.